I'm Richard McKinsey, co-author of Microeconomics for MBAs. This video commentary is going to be on who killed the electric car, where the film went wrong. Who Killed the Electric Car is a feature-length, consciousness-raising documentary film that is currently being shown in theaters. According to the storyline in the film, General Motors introduced the EV1 electric car in 1996 to ensure that the company could meet California environmental regulations that required car companies doing business in the state must sell zero-emissions vehicles. In spite of the long waiting lists of eager buyers at GM dealers, which suggests that the EV1 could have been highly profitable, the company killed the car in 2001 by recalling all cars after their owners' leases expired, and then they ground them up into bits in an Arizona desert. Why did GM do this? According to the film, because GM needed to protect the economic interests of the oil industry, and because environmentally friendly EV1s could all too easily be seen by car buyers as a sordid commentary on just how environmentally destructive GM's other cars were. GM's decision to kill the EV1 had nothing to do with its limited driving range of between 80 and 120 miles on a single charge. GM replaced the EV1 with the far more profitable gas-guzzling and ozone-depleting Hummer, all according to the filmmakers. Should we buy the filmmakers' view of the death of GM's electric car? Clearly, a primary goal of General Motors is to use its limited firm resources to make as much money as it can for its stockholders. The EV1 may have been profitable, but not nearly as profitable as, say, the Hummer. It might be nice to think of GM and other companies as instruments of social policy change, but such social daydreaming must be considered in light of market realities. If GM management had shirked its financial responsibilities to its stockholders to pursue the more lofty environmental goals of the filmmakers, its profits would have suffered, along with its stock price. Savvy investors would have, at some point, seen an opportunity to buy up GM stock, change management policy on producing relatively less profitable, environmentally friendly cars, and sell out at a capital gain. The moral of the story is simple. If environmental regulators are unwilling to impose the kind of required regulations the filmmakers would like to see, which according to the filmmakers, California policymakers were unwilling to do or to sustain, don't expect socially responsible corporations to remain socially responsible for very long either. Competitive market pressures, fueled by the profit motive, are simply too powerful and are harsh taskmasters for firms who stray for long. Besides, do we really want a massive corporation like General Motors, which is organized to produce mass market automobiles, to serve what has been to date a niche market, that is, the electric car market? The filmmakers might retort, as they did in the film through the words of interviewees, that the waiting lists for EV1s proved that enough customers were sufficiently environmentally conscious and socially responsible that they would have gladly paid a price for EV1s that would have made them as profitable as Hummers, or for that matter as profitable as Cadillacs, which were produced or are now being produced in the plants that once produced the EV1s. Perhaps GM management did make a mistake in assessing the potential market for and relative profitability of EV1s, and in terminating the production of the EV1. But such mistakes should hardly have caused the demise of the electric car, at least not for very long. Car companies who more accurately assess the electric car's profitability should have been able to offer GM a price for the EV1 technology that would have caused the technology to live on in another car produced by another company. If GM was unwilling to sell its electric car technology, then surely other domestic and foreign car companies should have been willing to develop alternative technologies for electric cars, if such technologies were truly as profitable as the filmmakers suggest. If other car companies were as mistaken as GM in their assessment of the electric car technology, Then other established profit-making companies outside of the car industry, for example, Nucor Steel, Motorola, Sony, or for that matter, Westinghouse, should have been willing to develop electric cars. Again, if the technology were as profitable as the filmmakers suggest. If all of the companies are unwilling to invest in electric car production and environmentalists are not able to convince enough other like-minded people to invest in a new electric car venture, then it stands to reason that the filmmakers are the ones who are mistaken in their assessment of the electric car's profitability. But the mistake that filmmakers make is a common one. Critics often argue that the production of this or that good is not only socially responsible, but is also profitable. They don't seem to get it, that their argument defeats itself. If something is truly profitable, then there should be no shortage of profit-directed firms lining up to produce the good. And guess what? As this commentary was being finalized, major national newspapers were carrying stories of how the profits of established car companies like Honda and Toyota were being boosted by the sales of their hybrids, and how new car companies were introducing fully electric cars with greater driving range than the EV1. Clearly, because they had little faith in market forces, the filmmakers held their funeral for the electric car far too early. Thank you very much for listening.